Hey gorgeous souls, I'm really excited for this one. Oh, look at that. I don't know if you guys can see, but there's bits of dust flying around in front of me, catching the sunlight, and on the camera, on my screen, it looks like snow and sparkles. It's gorgeous. It's dust, but it's gorgeous. All right, 20 things people should be using manifestation for, but don't think to. I'm so excited about this one because I am a huge advocate for turning manifestation into a lifestyle, not just manifesting things you want here and there, but using manifestation like it's not really a tool, is it? Because it's just how the world works, but using it to create your everyday experience of life. And those of you watching the video, I'm sorry that it goes in and out of focus. It's got autofocus, which is meant to be really clever, but sometimes it does. I don't know, I need to work my head around it maybe. Anywho, let's get into this. I think I've got 20 here. I jotted them all down. I had a good think about how I've used manifestation for all these things that people just don't think to apply it to, because everyone's busy manifesting the house, the car, the travel, and the job, and the relationship, and all those, big aspects of life. But when you integrate it into your everyday life, you start to live with ease and flow in every moment, and it's great. Okay, I'm hating my hair right now. I chopped it off, and still not super used to it. It needs to grow in a little bit. Anywho, I am excited. I've just filmed 4 videos and then eaten a whole bunch of breakfast, so feeling pretty interesting right now. Are you ready? How are you guys feeling? All right, first one is the weather. Manifesting the weather. And yes, we're not gods, we can't control everything, but if you've got a special event on, if you are gonna walk home from work or something, if you are at the beach with your kids and you want to stay longer, manifest the weather. If you've got an event, visualize and get into the energy of, and get to that energetic manifesting state that I teach, and manifest it being good weather. If you have to walk home, even if it looks like it's raining, if you're going to go somewhere in the rain, not in the rain, but if you're going to go somewhere and don't want to be bombarded with rain, even though maybe there's a prediction for it, manifest it not happening at that time. We have a group that we go to, and I take the kids to, and there's a park, and there's also a small building that we can go into, and it's way less comfortable if it rains and we have to go into the small building. And there were the last 4 or 5 weeks, on that specific day of the week, rain has been predicted. And 3 weeks in a row, we went to, some people went to make alternate plans, and then it didn't end up raining on the day. And I started saying, okay, well, yeah, sorry, getting out of breath. Gotta take a breath. You can manifest it to stay sunny. So every week it would say, okay, there's rain predicted, but we would say, well, let's just hope it gets pushed back. And it would be pushed back to like just after the time that we end, or to that night or the next day, 3 weeks in a row. And then there was a week that I wasn't going, and I didn't set an intention. Not saying that I'm the only manifestor there, but and then the next week rain was predicted, and then I was like, okay, it just doesn't rain on this day. I'm going to set this energetic rule for my life. It doesn't rain when we go to this place. Unless maybe sometimes I want it to rain when we're there. It's going to be fun to do a cozy craft day or something. But yeah, the other day, we went to the beach with that group, and the clouds were coming in, and rain was predicted from 2 o'clock, and it was actually sunny for a really good portion there, up until maybe 5 or 6. It was like beautiful sun. It was warm. My kids were playing at the beach. It was great. So the weather, you can manifest the weather. Maybe not just like I mean, it depends with belief, right? I personally wouldn't think if it's, I don't know. I'm trying to think of an example, and I keep saying, actually, I would do that. Like if it's completely pouring with rain and wanting the sun to break out from the clouds and it be sunny, that can happen too. So anything's possible. And that's something people don't think to do. Don't let weather get you down. Don't, I say not to get too attached to reality and end up manifesting what other people tell you is what's going to happen. You can take everything with a grain of salt, even if the weatherman says this or that is going to happen, the weather person, sorry. It doesn't have to. It doesn't have to. So set your intentions, how you want the weather to be, where you are, and how you want your experience to go. So that's the first one. The next one is staying well. Staying well. This is one that I'm working on at the moment because, we all go through different layers of learning. And this is a layer that I'm just peeling back at the moment, is staying well. Because I was brought up thinking about germs and not touching things and be careful in public places. And I had OCD tendencies, which I'm getting a lot better at. Healed so much of that. But yeah, I'm still a little bit, not a germaphobe, but you know what kids are like. Kids touch things and then they pick their nose and touch their ears and like put their hands in their mouths and they're just, oh my gosh. This is something I'm working through at the moment because by me saying, you got to be careful of those germs, you got to wash your hands, you got to sanitize your hands, what's that energy doing? What's that expectation? And we've actually had quite a few colds lately, and it's like happens on like the day that that I'm worried that it will happen, or that I'm not just like general worry, because like I've spoken about before, your anxieties don't necessarily manifest, but you can use manifestation to believe, hang on, I'm going to go into this place and I'm going to stay well. Maybe my kids could wipe that surface and lick their hand and they could still stay well, because it doesn't necessarily, there's not necessarily cold germs on everything, right? It's, yeah, there are two different realities going on there, two different ways of seeing the world, and it's just such a coincidence when you look at your life and you think, hang on, that didn't have to happen, but I completely expected it to happen. This can happen for good and bad things in our life. And I encourage you, like when I first started turning manifestation into a lifestyle, I looked back over every single experience of my life and what I thought going into it, well, not really thought, but mostly what I expected going into it. And every time I expected something to definitely happen or definitely not happen, it did. Like synchronicities happened and unfolded to either of those realities. And if something was in the middle and wishy-washy, the outcome was kind of wishy-washy. Like an outcome would happen, but there was no like synchronicities. There was no build-up or lead-up to it. It just was like, something happened. Anyway, so staying well. You can have a bowl around yourself. You can just trust your immune system. Like if someone picks up a cold germ and licks it, doesn't necessarily mean they're going to have a cold. This can be in all different ways. The world that we're in at the moment, some people are incredibly fearful of certain things happening, and sometimes when you're fearful of a certain thing happening, you're getting into that energetic state of it already happening. But alternatively, you could go through life and have that trust and faith that you are safe and you are guided and that you are well. And that there's a great little song that's, every little cell in my body is happy, every little cell in my body is well. And it's a good little mantra. You can trust that your immune system knows how to deal with these things, because your body does know how to get back to that state of perfect well-being. It does. So I'm going to go a little bit faster because otherwise it's going to take forever. Waking up at a certain time. The first time I used this, I think I had both my daughters and the youngest one was a baby, and I wanted to wake up. Did I want to wake up before her maybe? Maybe she was baby or toddler. Somewhere between, maybe like one. And I thought, okay, again, right when I was turning manifestation into a lifestyle, I thought, okay, I want to wake up earlier, what's the time that I want to wake up? Can I just tell my brain, no alarm clock or anything, just say, hey, I want to wake up at this time? And I woke up exactly at the time. It was like an hour earlier than my usual time. This is great. I really love this. And I love those things that you can plug into your body and they relate straight to your body. Hold on, I've got a child here to ask me a question. All right, so that's a really fun one. Waking up on time. Like regardless, because we give ourselves all these rules, like, oh, I need to make sure my alarm's loud enough, or I need to make sure I go to bed at this certain time. And if I go to bed later, if I don't sleep as well, then it's not going to happen, or I'm used to sleeping in. And we create all these rules. Just release the attachment to your current reality and step into the knowing and the trusting that this other reality can happen. Like, why not? Why couldn't you just miraculously wake up at the exact time you want to? You know, go for it. It's great. Certain body goals. This is one of those things that you have that experience of something being a certain way and then you get attached to it and then you can remanifest the same thing. But it could be, I don't want to just say just like weight goals or the way you look or anything like that, but certain things like flexibility. Like I'm working on manifesting more flexibility. I'm doing yoga twice a day, so I'm taking that action as well. But something I really want to implement, and I had the idea and then I forgot to, and now I remember. But when doing that practice, instead of saying like, oh, I'm so stiff, and having this image of my muscles, my legs as quite stiff, because fun fact, when I was a kid, we had to like test in school like how far past like to your toes or past your toes you could reach, and I wouldn't do as well as the other kids. So, you know, in tangible reality, maybe there's something going on with my muscles, but in this quantum reality, I had this perception of the flexibility of my legs. But a great thing to do, good job, my daughter's practicing it, good job. While I'm doing that yoga, I could be visualizing and getting into the energy of like reaching past my toes, like just imagining and feeling into like, what if I was just going past, if I was like is it Elastigirl from The Incredibles, like just stretching, bringing that manifestation aspect into it. After I had kids, my abdominal muscles split and I manifested them healing closer back together. So any kind of body goals, anything for your health and your flexibility, you can use manifestation for. The next one is cooking delicious food. Remember back in the day when mums used to say, oh, the secret ingredient is love. You can bring that into it as well. I use manifestation for things being cooked perfectly. I've used like anti-manifesting a few times and accidentally burnt the food because I expected that to happen. But you can do the alternative, the trusting. There's been a few times where I've been worried, like, oh, did I leave that too long? And then taken a breath and paused and said, okay, no, it's going to actually just be absolutely perfect when I go and check on it. And then you can add that little bit of love in there as well. You can bless your food and say, this food is I'm going to get all the nutrients out of it. This food wants to nourish me. My body's going to digest it really well, and it's going to bring me that energy and that health and well-being. Kids cooperating. It can be hard as a parent. Sometimes a behavior happens and then you start to expect the behavior and then you're re-manifesting that behavior. What if you let go of that and then start manifesting the behavior that you desire, or manifest having a better experience? Hang on. Fixing household items. I made another video about manifesting problems into your life. You can also, I spoke about a few things in there, household items that broke, and I manifested them fixing. That's something that we can do. Recently, my fridge had an issue and I manifested a replacement and it was awesome.
And that means I've got another 10-year quality.
Yeah. Talk to you soon. Yeah, so if something breaks, instead of going, okay, well, this is broken, or if it's having issues, maybe it could fix itself. Yeah, it's great. I've had my dryer stopped working once, and I think my washing machine did too. And you know, other people were saying, "Oh, that sucks that it happened." And I said, "Well, no, it's just going to fix itself. I'm not going to do anything. I'm going to let the universe do it." And the next one is smooth sailing traffic. People get into traffic and they think, "Oh no, this is going to take me forever. This is horrible." And they bring up all those feelings and that attachment to the situation, and then they re-manifest more of the same. Whereas I manifest the opposite. I go, okay, so there's a lot of traffic, doesn't matter, I'm going to have it smooth sailing, or it's going to clear in front of me, it's going to be easy, it's going to be smooth sailing. Even if there isn't a bunch of traffic, even if it's just your everyday drive and there's, you know, just a few cars on the road, sometimes I think of switching lanes. I think I'm going to go to the clearer lane so I can go a bit faster, not be in front of these cars, behind these cars. But then I remember to use manifestation and I say, the way is clear for me. And I just imagine the cars parting. And I've done this so many times. The more you use manifestation, the more, I don't know, sometimes you just marvel in it. Even it doesn't matter how much you use it. Like I was going to say, it's uncanny how it happens just straight away, but it's also not. It's just the magic of how the world works, and it's just amazing and incredible, and it's really beautiful the way that the world works when you're in flow and when you're using manifestation as a lifestyle. But there's been times where I've been heavy at traffic and I think, oh, I really need to get across to that lane, but I can't. And then I had one time where, it's just like two cars will move. Everything will like rearrange like magic so you could be exactly where you need to be. The other thing is traffic lights as well. My mum, right? I've mentioned her in a few videos about how she manifested every competition win and every parking space. And I knew there was more examples I could give you. But green lights is the other thing. She manifests green lights all the way through, like always a run of green lights. Some people manifest every red light, right? I'm kind of in the middle. Like I could probably do some manifestation work on this, but I expect to be mostly smooth sailing, and I get a red light here or there. Like if I go on a drive, it'll probably be like one red light. So I could probably look at that and work on that. But manifesting green lights, like when I'm driving along, if I come up to a light, I'm like, okay, it's going to stay green, and I visualize it staying green, or maybe turning yellow as I'm already through it or something. Or if it's a red light that I'm coming up to, I manifest it turning green as soon as I'm coming up to it. This is a great life hack. It's really great. Healing colds, headaches, and illnesses. Obviously having manifestation for that. Healing quicker is a great one. I spoke before about staying well, but also if you do become unwell, using manifestation to boost your immune system, to visualize that your cells are all healthy and fighting away the negative cells, and it's all just clearing out of your body, and then you're healing, manifesting a lessening of the symptoms. If you've got a headache, manifesting it draining away, because pain, especially for headaches and stomach aches, pain is there to send a message, to send you a message and tell you you need something, or that you need to do something differently next time. And sometimes if you speak to the body and you say, hey body, I've heard you, like even if I bumped I just did that flex thing. I bumped my knee before and had pain, and if you get an injury, and I've said to the body, okay body, I understand I need to watch where I'm going so I don't bump my knee. I've heard you, you can release this pain now. And manifesting that pain away, or manifesting healing from illness. I hope you guys are realizing just how useful it is to be bringing manifestation into your daily life like this. It just brings in that ease and that flow and makes life so much easier, so much easier. Household items, if you need something, rather than setting an intention like I have to go out and get this, I have to buy this, set an intention for receiving it. There was a really great time once where I wanted a desktop easel for painting, and I was in an art shop and I saw them and I thought, oh, that's something that I've been wanting, and something said to me, no, I don't need to buy this, just wait. And then the next day I went to visit a friend, and turns out she had one to give me. She was gifting me one. And I've done this with all sorts of household items. And I would say to you, if you ever write down to-do lists, or if you just internally in your head when you need something, don't write it down or don't think of it as I have to go out and get that. I have to take action to it. I have to buy it. If you write down get such and such or buy such and such, you're setting an intention to get it, to be the action taker. Or if you write to buy it, then you're setting an intention to spend money on it, when you could be setting an intention to receive it. That by setting the intention to get it or buy it, you are limiting the universe. You're setting an intention that that's the way that you are going to get it. Whereas if you say to receive it, you could get it any which way. You could be gifted it. You could find it. Like, I've manifested things at the side of the road. I wanted I think it was a whiteboard. It was a whiteboard. I wanted a whiteboard once. I set the intention in the morning and said I'd like to receive a big whiteboard for writing on. And then I took my kids to swimming lessons and felt the calling, because it's important to use our intuition as well, because it often guides us through life towards the things that we desire. It's the flip side of manifestation. My intuition told me to park on a different street, and I pulled up, I parked in the car, and then I see, like in my peripheral, there's a sign for free stuff, and right there is my whiteboard. It took me like half an hour to manifest this whiteboard. It was just at the side of the road because someone didn't need it anymore, and the universe arranged that for me. So I've done this countless times. I've manifested so many household items in all sorts of ways. So that's a really great one, rather than setting that intention for you to go and just get it, because that's just one way, guys. Things can happen in so many ways. The answer to a problem. If you're having a problem in your life and you're pondering it, thinking, what should I do? Or if something needs fixing or addressing or whatever, you can ask the universe and you can manifest the answer to the problem. And it could come to you through a friend. It could come to you, like someone could offer you the thing, like the opportunity for the thing. It could come to you, like you might feel called to listen to a certain podcast or read a certain book, and it might be like right there on that page in front of you is the answer to the problem. So if you ever have any problems you have, ask the universe and just be open to receiving that answer, rather than, like I was saying with the household items, rather than saying, okay, it's me, it's all on me to take this action, because the universe can help you with that and you can manifest the answer. So much easier, right? The next thing, someone else doing a job that you don't want to do. If you don't want to do a job, same thing with your to-do list. Instead of writing down, I need to do this, say, this is done. Have this thing done. Business or social media growth. You can manifest that. You can manifest the number of your followers. You can manifest more engagement. You can manifest business success. I used to run a market and I manifested the amount of stall holders that I wanted. You can manifest your clients. You can manifest all sorts of things. Just anything in your life. Think about the things that you want in your life. Always think about, because humans are wired to look at problems and look at risk and danger and keep ourselves safe. But instead of doing that, instead of just focusing on the problem, remember to shift back after you identify the thing you don't want, because that's the contrast. Contrast creates clarity. You identify what you don't want and then you shift towards what you do want and manifest the thing that you do want in every area of your life. I think I've got 8 left or something. So let's get on with this. Changing plans. Sometimes if I've changed my mind, if I don't feel like doing a certain thing, or if something's popped up and I need to change the time of something, sometimes I manifest for the other person, for that to align well with the other person as well. So I've had it, so, you know, maybe I was meant to meet with a friend and then something popped up that I needed to do, and then, you know, the other person will message me and say, oh, something popped up, and then it works better for the both of us. So instead of me just cancelling out on plans, the universe rearranges things so it works out for everyone. This is a funny one, and I shared this a couple years ago when I was starting out, and people loved it. I had someone say that they did it already, which is super cool. Sorry, wiggle that mouse. Which is super cool, and a few people said they tried it. It's getting flies out of your house. I don't know what flies are like wherever you are, but in Australia we get flies sometimes, especially in summer. And where I was living at the time, we had a big north-facing window with a giant sliding door and no fly screen. And we would open it up because I like to feel connected to nature, like this beautiful view of all the trees across the valley. And flies would come into the house, and then it would be annoying. I really don't like flies buzzing around while I'm sleeping because, like, I don't want them to land on me, right? Or just around your food. I don't know. But you just don't want flies in the house. So I started manifesting. If they came in, I would like telepathize, just say to the fly, often even out loud, I'd say, okay, fly, here's the door, please go out. And it's so funny, they just go out instantly. It's awesome. In this house here, if there's a fly inside, I'll open the door and say, hey fly, here's the door. Or you could shield your house. This is what I started doing with the big door at my old house, was just putting an energetic bubble there so the flies didn't come in the first place, and they would buzz in the door and kind of just whoop, back out. So handy. You can use manifestation for anything. Here's another one that you won't hear anywhere else, folks. Flushing a blocked toilet. Flushing a blocked toilet. When the toilet's blocked, you know, same thing that I've been saying before, when something happens, we feel like intangible reality, this is the thing that we need to do, or this is, you know, the thing's broken, or we have to do this thing in order for it to be fixed. Same with fixing household items or fixing any problem. It's like, okay, well that's done now, or I have to take action to fix this. I don't do that. If my toilet's blocked, I walk away and I manifest it just being fine. The next time I go in, that I'll flush it and it'll go, and I won't have to do anything. It's so funny. Just you visualize and get into that energetic state of relief, like, it's fixed, problem's fixed, life is easy again. That might or might not be a handy one for you, but yeah, stuff unblocking the toilet. I'll get the universe to do that for me. I wonder how many people are doing that one. I'd be curious to hear. Let's go on. I've got 3 more of the 20, or 4 more things of the 20 things people should be using manifestation for, but don't think to use it for. I know this is a longer episode, guys, but bear with me. I thought it would be quick. It's kind of quick. We're going through them quickly. Favorite song on the radio. I manifest it all the time. I get in the car, I'm like, okay, my favorite song's on. I don't know what favorite song. I don't know if it's a favorite song from like recently or like ages ago. It just means like a song that I listen to, I go, yeah, I love this song. And before I click on that radio, I get in that mode, you know, you get in that manifesting state, that it's going to happen. It's going to happen. Fines being waived. You get a fine. You don't want to pay fines. Can manifest it being waived. Again, it's like having a problem solved itself. A specific book that you're wanting to read, or a specific item of clothing. I've done it with books all the time. I decided I wanted to read a particular book, and then I went to a little free library and the book was there. I did it once. Same thing with an op shop. Same thing with it being gifted. Let the book come to you, guys. Let it find you. Or a specific item of clothing. I have a woolen, like a little sweater, jumper, and it's black, and I decided I want to stop wearing black and I want more blue. And there was one morning where I was thinking, I really actually love that. I'd love that. Instead of just saying I want it, I said, I'd love that. And then that day I went to a market and there was the exact same brand of that jumper in like my favorite shade of blue. And it was like a couple dollars. It was awesome. It's like a $50 woolen jumper, and I was chuffed. I was thrilled. So anything you specifically want, again, let it come to you. Use manifestation. And the last one is animal sightings. I love seeing animals in the wild, and sometimes I just put the intention out there to see a particular animal, or like just a surprise sighting of something that's out of the ordinary, because it's so special. It's like when you see a rainbow, like nature you can't control, you can't choose. Like I could go to a wildlife park and see these animals, but it's so special when you see them in the wild, because it's a moment that you need to savor, right? So I've done this. There's a place I know that I had seen a platypus before, once or twice, and I went there one day and I decided I wanted to see the platypus, and I wasn't seeing it, and I was getting into that energy of, oh, maybe it's not going to happen, it's probably not here, I've been waiting so long, maybe I should go do something else. And then I caught myself and I said, hang on, no, I am the creator of my reality, I am a manifestation expert, I need to use that in this situation. I'm an advocate for using manifestation, making it a lifestyle. So instead of focusing on what I don't want, shift towards what I do want, which is to see the platypus, and not just saying, oh, I want this, but getting into that energetic state of this is happening. And it can be a little bit difficult when you've been waiting for something to happen and you're getting into that state of frustration. You've got to let that go before, you've got to start to let it go at least. So I was still in that state, but I started saying, okay, I'd love to see the platypus. I'd love to see it. I'd love to see it. I'd love for it to pop up any moment now. If you guys have listened to Abraham Hicks, when they get in that rampage on that roll, like, I'd love this. I'd love to see it. Wouldn't it be great if the platypus just popped up right now? I remember how I felt so amazing when I've seen it before. It's such a wonderful thing. And just building up that energy and that momentum. And it took like 10 seconds. I got into that state and instantly the platypus popped up, and it stayed there for, however long I wanted to watch it. I could just stand there watching it. I hadn't seen it for like the 5, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, however long it was that I'd been sitting there frustrated. And then it was there, and I got to see it. And I do that every time I go to that spot now. I get to see it every time instead of just occasionally, because I know how to manifest that, and it's super special. So that is my 20 things that I think people should be using manifestation for, but don't think to. I've got 5 bonus ones I want to share that are things that people should be, could be. I think people should. I think you should. I don't like to use the word should, but come on, why not? Why not make your life easy and flowing? These last ones are things that I'm sure everyone might know, the classics. Parking spaces. I went once. I know I'm going into depth a little bit with each of these, giving you a little bit of a snippet of how to manifest them. I teach a lot more in my online membership, online academy, but here's a little snippet. I went into the city on the weekend, and I wasn't sure how parking would be, and I thought maybe it would be busy, and it ended up being busy. Now I'm like, why did I expect that? It was a Sunday, and the city is so not busy, but that's what I expected. That's what I manifested on that day. It was so busy. There were cars like trawling, like slowly driving through the parking lot, and there was no spaces, and I was getting frustrated and I was getting stressed because I had to be somewhere at a certain time. And then I caught myself, as I did with the platypus. I thought, hang on, why? This isn't what I want to be manifesting, so I need to get out of this state, release that resistance. The breath is really great, using your breath to just let it all go, let your energy out, just like that breath sounds like. Let that energy go and go. Refresh yourself. Come to the situation as though you just come into it, as though you haven't just had however long being frustrated about it. It's all fresh to you, and anything can happen in this moment. And I started to visualize my parking space and feel that relief, like, I've parked, I'm going to go to that place now, I'm going to be on perfect time. And then, of course, I manifested it. Parking spaces are great. I love manifesting parking spaces. Yesterday, I decided I was manifesting a parking space for me, and I wanted to, be grateful and thankful and mindful of the person behind me who was waiting and might have been confused why we drove into a full parking lot instead of instead of me just turning around and leaving like a lot of people do, I was taking the 10 seconds to manifest my space. So I manifested a space for them as well. So 2 people walked straight out of the building, and I thought they were together, but they went to 2 separate cars, pulled out at the same time, and then me and the person behind me got to have that parking space as well. So I guess that's one thing people don't think to do, is manifest parking spaces with the person behind you too. That one's nice. It's nice to do. Money on the ground or unexpected money. This one's talked about other places as well, but you could use this every day. When I first started training myself up on manifestation, I did it all the time. I decided I'm going to find money today. I'm going to find money today. I would find $2. I decided to find a note. So I found a note on the ground. I was just practicing manifestation, but just allowing it to come to you in any unexpected ways, as well as the expected ways too. Promotions or career success. You can manifest manifest a promotion, or manifest a raise, or manifest just anything you want in life, guys. Bring it into all these different aspects, not just house, car, travel, relationships, career. Bring it into the each aspect of those things as well. Being open to surprises by the universe. Wake up in the morning and say, what will the universe bring to me today? It's Rhonda Byrne in one of her books talks about waking up every morning and saying, thank you, universe, for the surprises today, for the blessings that you're bringing me today, for those things that I don't know yet, for the good news. Thanks for the good news today, universe. And the last one is winning competitions, because you might as well. My tip for competitions is only enter the ones that you actually want to win. Don't just enter competitions for the sake of entering competitions. And for a little while, I was wondering why I was winning some competitions and not the others. And I realized it's because the ones I wasn't winning, I didn't care about. I didn't really want the prize. I just wanted an ego boost. Or sometimes I would think, actually, someone else needs this more, and I want someone else to win it. But then there's other competitions where I would think I'd either really want the prize, or it would be fun. It'd be fun to win something today, wouldn't it? That's pretty much it. It'd be nice to win. I'd love to win when you're going into it in that state. And then obviously using manifestation techniques as well, then it's really great. I've won a lot of things. There was one time I had my daughters help me. We wanted to win. They were doing like a lucky door prize, so we decided we wanted to win something, anything, and we won a nice relaxing CD, because the universe knows when you say like, I want to win something, anything, any one of these things, anything that you think is best for me, universe, then the universe chooses, and it of course chose something lovely for us that day. I've won a year-long membership to yoga and meditation through a 5-day challenge, and I was like, the whole time I was visualizing I was going to win it. I've won, what else? I've won a lot of things, so that's a really fun one. All of these things, guys, let me know which things you do already. Let me know which things you're going to implement into your life. Let me know your favorite one. Let me know the one that you didn't think about before. I've just given you like 4 calls to action. That's such a no-no in business. But let me know your favorite thing. Let me know your favorite thing from this episode, because I want to hear. I want to hear how you implement this into your life, how it changes your life, uplifts your life, because the things that I'm sharing with you are the things that absolutely revolutionize my life. I live in a completely different way to how I was living 5 years ago because of all these amazing little changes, little breakthroughs that just shift things. So I wish that for you as well. I will see you in the next episode. Bye. Turn off.